Hello everybody. Welcome you all at Learning is Fun with Progaparamita. Today I am going to discuss some interesting facts about noun. That is, what is the countable noun and what is the uncountable noun. I will give you lots of examples and help you to understand and to differentiate the countable and the uncountable nouns. And at the end of the video, you will get some surprise also. Some unknown facts, some exceptional rules which you already not known to you, all these things together. So stay with me till the end of this video so you can have all these things together. So let's see what is there. Look at the picture first. What is there? What kind of food is this? The bread is burnt, the eggs are overdone, the curry has no salt in it, there is no sugar and milk in the tea. I don't want to eat anything. Just give me a glass of water. Let's see here. You find some words are written in red color. Why it is? Let's see. Look at the words here. The word food, bread, egg, curry, salt, milk, tea, glass, and water. As you know already, all these are called the common nouns. And when we are talking about common nouns can be categorized into two other major subdivisions. What are they? The countable noun and the uncountable noun. And each countable noun and the uncountable noun can be subcategorized into two groups, that is concrete and abstract. The countable concrete noun are barn, pig, toy, etc. Whereas the concrete abstract countable noun are difficulty, remark, etc. Whereas the uncountable concrete nouns, common nouns as follows: butter, gold, etc. And the abstract one are music, homework, etc. So, why do I say something are countable and something are uncountable? Let's see here. Here, there are some pictures. As you see here, one egg, two eggs, two mangoes, a doll. Here you find we can count an egg, a mango, a doll, but in contrast to that, we can't able to count salt, sugar, bread, tea, or water. So, which objects we can count there, we may call them as countable, and the object we cannot count them, we call them the uncountable objects. Here, the countable nouns. The name of separate objects, people, idea, etc., which can be counted is called the countable noun. And you can use the article a or an with the countable nouns. And of course, the countable nouns have their plural forms. Here are the examples. You find here an apple, two apples, a cat, three cats. Now, let's talk about the uncountable nouns. What do you see here? Uncountable nouns refers to the names of material, liquids, abstract qualities that cannot be counted. We see them as a mass without any clear boundary and cannot use number with them. Most of them are singular in number. For example, water, tea, sugar, bread, salt, etc. Now, there are the uncountable nouns. We often use measured amount with the uncountable nouns. What are they? We can say that a glass of milk, 2 cups of tea, a loaf of bread. Here, what do you see here? We find that milk, tea, bread, they are of course uncountable noun, but when we measure their amount, we can say that a glass of what milk, 2 cups of tea, or a loaf of bread. Now, let's see the difference between countable and the uncountable nouns. What is there? Countable noun have singular and plural forms. Most uncountable nouns are singular in number. For example, an apple, 2 apples, and tea. Tea have no plural forms. And here we find we use a or an with a countable noun, but we usually do not use a or an with an uncountable noun. Here the examples are a cat, a pen, but we never use a wool, a water, etc. because wool and water are the uncountable nouns. And here, use of determiner. In case of countable noun, we use the determiners like many, few. But in case of uncountable noun, we use the determiners like much, little, etc. Here are the examples. How many hours do you work? How much money do you have? Here you find that the hours you can count there. That is why you called it how many hours. But in case of money, you called it like this, how much money you have. Now, use of determiner, that is a very interesting point, and it is very good for you to know which determiner is the best or fit to which type of noun. Here I give you 2 examples. First, how much and how many. Here, how many always is used with a countable noun, whereas how much is always used with an uncountable noun. Let's see the examples. How many people do you need to help you? How much sugar do you need to sweeten your card? That is, how much. The sugar is not countable, it is uncountable noun, so you use how much. But in case of people which you can count by number, you use how many. Here, some is a very interesting determiner which is used both for the countable noun and the uncountable noun. Let's see. For the countable plural, we use some. For example, there are some mangoes in the box. But in case of uncountable noun, we use also some. There is some cheese in the refrigerator. Here, look at the verb. Here are refers to that. The mangoes are plural in number, but here is, the verb is, so cheese is the singular in number. As you know earlier, I have told you uncountable number nouns mostly are singular in number. But there is an interesting point about some. Some is used to denote unspecified quantity. There, when you don't know the how about the what is the quantity of something, some nouns, you have to use some. Now, another interesting determiner is that any, which is used both for negative and questions, and here also used for countable and the uncountable nouns. Here, for the countable plural, any is used. Here is the example. There aren't any dishes on the table. And for the uncountable noun, it is also uncountable noun. Look at the verb here, there aren't. But here for the uncountable noun, there isn't any milk in the bottle. Here the verb is, that is a singular verb. Is there any money in the wallet? Or of course here you find the verb is singular in number. So the common thing is that about the determiner any is used both for negative and for interrogative sentences. Now, let's see, this is the interesting part I have told you earlier. What are the problem case and what is the difficulties in case of countable and uncountable noun? Here I give you an example, that is travel versus journey. Here, the important point, travel is uncountable noun, whereas journey is countable noun. Many things can be seen both as a collection of separate elements or as a mass. Here, you find the countable nouns are bean, beans, pea, peas, grapes, lentils, fats, etc. They are called the countable noun, but rice, spaghetti, macaroni, pasta, sugar, salt, wheat, news, they are the uncountable nouns. Now, in case of telling about illness, we may face another problem. What is that? The name of illness are usually uncountable in English, including those ending in S. For example, if you have already had measles, you can't get it again. Here you find measles is the name of the disease and it is of course uncountable. But the exception is also there. The words for some minor ailments are uncountable. Example, a cold, a sore throat, a headache, etc. And there are some mixed use also, where you find some nouns have both countable and uncountable uses. Words for material are uncountable, whereas the product made of that material is called the uncountable noun. Here are the examples. I would like some typing paper. Here paper refers to the material, so it is uncountable. But I am going to buy a paper. Here paper refers to a newspaper. The thing made of the material, it is countable. Similarly, many abstract nouns have both countable and uncountable uses. Here are the example. Don't hurry. There's plenty of time. It is a general, time is here refers to a general fact. So it is uncountable, but have a good time. Here time refers to a particular time or particular time frame. So it is countable. Now, there are some exceptions too. In case of plural countable, you find some exceptions. What are they? I have already told you uncountable nouns are of course singular in number sometime, but they have some plural examples. That is, some uncountable nouns do not have any singular form. That is, they have no singular form. Here are the examples: groceries, many thanks, scissors, jeans are the words or the nouns which always used in plural forms. That is, I have bought the groceries. Here you find the groceries in its plural form, but you never see that grocery, a grocery, two groceries, etc. Because grocery is a noun which only used in its plural form. Now, here are the exercise for you. Here you have to choose how much and how many in the blank spaces, and you have to put them there. So do it at home And here are more exercise for you. Sam and Annie, try to do this at home. If you have any problem, please don't forget to comment in the comment box. So, no more today. Thank you for listening and bye bye.